Hi, Cells here, and today I wanted to make a reaction video about Heptabase. This is not sponsored. I have learned this tool like less than 10 minutes ago, but it was interesting, so I wanted to create like an authentic reaction video. Supposedly, it's like Notion meets Miro, and I use both of these things heavily. So I'm interested to see how Heptabase approaches it, and I went in blind. I know nothing about it aside from what I just said. So let's go ahead.
Heptabase. Today I'm going to teach you how you can use Heptabase to turn the massive amount of ideas and knowledge in your head into a piece of high quality knowledge work. And to do that, we have to bridge the gap between 3 steps of a knowledge lifecycle, which is the first step, capturing ideas. The second step, think about these ideas. And the third step, create an output based on your thinking.
So this one, I agree with this. This is something I've learned from Building a Second Brain, a course by Tiago Forte. And I'm not in too deep with the whole PKM, personal knowledge management space. So not sure where that idea originates from, but at the same time, it is parallel to how in UI UX design, or rather design thinking, we have something called divergence and convergence. So capturing our ideas and thinking about them and then translating that into actual output is what a modern day knowledge worker does. So when we say knowledge worker, these are, well, people who use their brains to create outputs for their work or careers or businesses, whatever.
In Heptabase, you can easily connect these 3 steps in one place, and now I'm going to show you how to do that. First, you can come to the timeline section and start capturing your ideas. Let's say I have this brilliant idea about a topic called analytics, and I can easily create a card called idea 1, maybe type some content, and then give it a tag called analytics. Now let's capture this card. And let's say I have another idea 2, which is also about analytics. And I can also give it a send tag and capture it. So now we have finished the capturing phase, and we are going to move toward the thinking phase. And to do that, all I need to do...
Let's pause here. I like how you can capture ideas really quickly, and the way it's designed, to me, comparing it to what I'm used to, right? Like when you open up a page, there's kind of this pressure, I don't know if that's just me, to get all of these ideas in a form where it's acceptable and not at all messy. But during that ideation phase, you just really want to brain dump things, which is the workaround I found in Notion would just be to have a database for ideas. But I'm interested in this like card idea where the small space makes me feel like I could just do it like quick and dirty without having to overthink, without having to feel like I need paragraphs already ready to be used. So let's see.
Do is to go to the tag analytics, and then these are the cards that I have created for the topic. And to think about
this also reminds me of like Obsidian. I've tried Rome and Obsidian. This reminds me of Obsidian more with like right now. This gives me like Obsidian vibes.
This card, I can add all of them into a new whiteboard. Let's call it analytics thinking. And now all this card appears in the visual space, and I can, let's say, rearrange them, or maybe connect this card to each other.
I really like this. I need to stop because like this, I like this idea. This is intriguing to me. This has been something I haven't seen before. Whereas you can, it reminds me of, there was this software.
And to
I did a quick search. Yeah, there's this software called Scrivener that I've heard of years back that they use to create novels and books. And the way it works is similar to this. That's why I'm reminded of it, where you can have your stuff, you have your content written, but you're also able to rearrange them really quickly. The difference though is that this reminds me of Scrivener and Miro in the sense that like the cards live on their own, right? Like the content doesn't get changed, but at the same time you can map it out and play around with the ideas just like in Miro. Because in my current workflow, I use a combination of Miro and Notion because like there are times where I just want to brain dump ideas and think about things and not need to have it in such a linear way. Miro is a good bridge for that. And I've been wanting a feature like that, in a feature like this actually inside of Notion. So this is super interesting.
like help fold Son of Land to help me see the big picture and dive into detail at the same time. So in the end, after you think about all the ideas that you capture under this topic, you might have a whiteboard that looks like this, which shows you the overall big picture of your thinking under this topic. And now let's move to the final step, which is to create an output to write something about this topic. And in Heptabase, it's very easy to achieve that. All you need to do is to find the cards that you want to write about. And then you open them with right click, open them in a new tab. And you can create a new card and call it like new articles about analytics. And then you can look at the reference that you brings into the tab and
Totally unrelated tool that this reminds me of, but I don't know if you guys have heard of Phrase. It's one of those tools for SEO. This reminds me of that. It works differently in the sense that it doesn't use your own notes, but rather it uses Google search results to give you snippets of how other sites, how other content creators have done this in their blogs and articles and whatnot. And I don't know, it's just interesting to see that, oh, this reminds me of this UI. Personally, I like this. I can imagine a few use cases, not just in business. Personally, I think this is a good tool I want to get into for this function since I'm trying to write more. And the reason for that is because the friction that I feel when I'm writing, right? Like I want to see my research, but at the same time, I want to be able to play with it. And I used to just have Google Docs, and I would just paste the research in the middle of what I'm writing, and it's just not a very good experience, and it's very tedious. But with this kind of thing, I really think it helps bridge that again in the design thinking, that whole gap between divergence and convergence. That's something that I've noticed tools have not mastered yet. So this is interesting.
and start writing based on this content. Or you can even just drag and drop like the content that you are looking at on the right side into the left side and to start composing your.
Interesting, because Phrase also has this feature. And I'm not saying that they copied off of each other. I'm really just pointing out that, oh, it's interesting that like I'm seeing some patterns with tools that I'm assuming like are not, connected with each other. And I think we're seeing a trend of just an improved experience designed to help people translate their ideas into actual writing.
article. So this is how you can create an output based on your thinking. And in the end, like all these different whiteboard, they all lives in a place called map, which is your memory palace that have all.
Also something that I've seen in Rome and Obsidian and other tools, but I think it's really cool. I wanted to pause just to like think about like how I wonder how they structured all of this and how it could be used, because at first glance, right, the difference between what I've used before is that you have individual cards and points and stuff. This one, they have different whiteboards instead of the individual cards. So at first glance, it does feel a bit overwhelming, like without them walking me through it yet. It does feel overwhelming because there's a lot of groups and stuff like that, and I'm not sure if there are connections like in flowcharts and whatnot, but yeah, let's just see.
Different whiteboard. For example, this whiteboard is about the product roadmap, and then this whiteboard is about the design reference that I'm using to build a product, and this whiteboard could be about the product strategy that I am using to build a company. And all the cards that is being used in all these whiteboard, they live in a place called card library, where you can easily filter and search for the cards that you are looking for.
This is like what I wish my Zettelkasten would look like. I've tried Zettelkasten. It's a way to take down notes, and I've tried multiple times. I haven't found a system that works. I'm not sure if this one will be the key, but I like how everything's just all there. What I am missing though, where I might be wrong, is the organization that Notion does offer with its databases and pages. So to me, this looks like just one giant database where everything lives, like all of the ideas, all of the content, etc.
Alright, so that is a simple workflow, the 3-step workflow of how you can create a high quality output based on the ideas you capture and based on the thinking on top of this idea. If you are interested in Heptabase, feel free to go to heptabase.com and download it and give it a try. Thank you for listening.
Alright, so again, those are my first thoughts. One thing that I want to expound on is how I don't see this replacing Notion nor Miro. I see this as a possible another tool, although I'm a little apprehensive about complicating my current workflow. But I do see how this will be helpful to me personally as someone who's a knowledge worker. I think I'll take to this better than, rather than comparing it to Notion, I think I would compare it more to Rome and Obsidian. And I personally feel like I would take to this more than both of those tools. It also feels less, like the learning curve also doesn't feel as high. That being said, again, since they are on beta, I would say I am kind of impressed with how the founder has thought about this product. And for a product in beta, this is a really good one. What are my apprehensions? Let's see. Again, although this is great for if you're writing, I don't see it replacing my current workflow and how I structure it already inside of Notion, but rather an accessory to it instead. My favorite tool of this has got to be like being able to create cards and rearranging them. This is something that I wish I had back when I was studying and writing my thesis, because this is it. Like, I this would definitely be helpful for students. So yeah, those are my first thoughts for now for Heptabase. I might actually download this and give this a try. Maybe sign up for a few days to see if this would support my current workflow. But will I pay for it currently? Right now, I don't feel the need to do so, since I am also revamping the way we work around content inside of Notion and Miro. So, yeah, I want to see more of this product. I want to see how this develops, and I want to see how people are using it for cool things. So, yeah, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching.